Hello friends, today I will be explaining the transmission of impulse. So this will be the myelin sheet, this is the axon terminal, and this will be the presynaptic membrane, this will be the postsynaptic membrane, and these are the receptors, and this will be the transmitters. This will be present here, the transmitters. So what are the changes happening after transmitting of the impulse and reaching to the presynaptic nerve area? And 11 points we need to remember. The 11 points happening in the presynaptic and postsynaptic junctions area, that is the synaptic cleft area. So what are those, we will be see one by one. So here, after reaching this action potential to the presynaptic terminal area, so number one point here is transmitter is synthesized and then stored in vessels. This will be the transmitter that will be stored in the vessel. And the second point, the action potential invades the presynaptic terminals. And the third point here is depolarization of presynaptic terminal causes opening of voltage gated calcium channels. Here the calcium channels will be opening. And the fourth point here is whenever the calcium is entered inside of the presynaptic membrane area of the axon, and the influx of the calcium through the channel happening. And the fifth point here is the calcium causes vessels to fuse with the presynaptic membrane. So it has been fusing with the presynaptic membrane area. Afterwards, the sixth point here is the transmitter released into synaptic cleft via exocytosis. This transmitter has been releasing through the exocytosis process into the synaptic cleft area. This is the space, is the small space is there, and some gap might be there between the first neuron of the axon terminal area and the second dendrite neuron area. This is the synaptic cleft we are calling. And the seventh point here is the transmitter binds to receptor molecules in postsynaptic membrane. This is the presynaptic membrane, this is the postsynaptic membrane. The postsynaptic membrane having the specific receptors, and that will be helpful to transmit the signals and accepting of the signals from the previous one of the synaptic nerve area of the neuron. And the eighth point, opening or closing of postsynaptic channels happening. Afterwards, the current causes excitatory or inhibitory reactions happening, the ninth point. And the 10th point here is after finishing this process, once the signals, transmitting signals from this presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane area of the receptors, after transferring, the removal of neurotransmitters, you see that the 10th point here, removal of the neurotransmitter by glial's uptake or enzymatic degradation. So outside of this area, glial cells are there, either it may be taking uptake of this neurotransmitter or else enzymatic degradation taking place. The 11th point here is retrieval of vascular membrane from plasma membrane. So these are the 11 points happening while transmitting type of the action potential of the information, whatever the impulse traveling time from the first neuron of the presynaptic junctional area towards the second neuron of the dendrite cell area. So these 11 points we need to remember. So based upon these areas, many more competitive exams based questions they may be asking. And where is the presynaptic membrane? This one presynaptic membrane, this is the postsynaptic membrane, these are the receptors, the calcium gated channels, these are the calcium gated channels. This will be the neurotransmitters, stored in the vessels. And after reaching to this membrane area, presynaptic membrane area, due to the formation of the influx of the calcium, so that will be released the calcium causes vessels to fuse with the presynaptic membrane. So the impulse transmitting towards this gap area, so the impulse may not be transferring without help of the neurotransmitters. So the neurotransmitter will be more important to travel to, it will be acting as a co-transporter type. So it will be transmitting the impulse from the presynaptic to postsynaptic area. Afterwards, it will be taken by the glial cells uptake or else enzymatic degradation happening. And like that, once again the retrieval of the vessel membranes from the plasma membrane happening. It is just like a cyclic process type happening. So then that way has been accepting the impulse to the further dendrites of the neuron. Thank you.